Classic Australian-made vehicles like Fords and Holdens are being replaced by a wave of little-known Chinese car makers. More than half a dozen manufacturers have announced plans to come to Australia in the past month. And the good news is they'll be cheaper here than almost anywhere else in the world.
A sea of electric cars all coming from one place. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese electric cars are now being bought each year in Australia, and the dam has burst. Many more are on the way. In the last month, 7 new Chinese car makers have announced they're on the way. Within the year, you'll see cars with these badges on Australian roads.
And it's not just Chinese brands, it's global brands building cars in China.
The battle is over. China is now the world's electric car powerhouse.
Year to date in 2024, over 80% of all electric vehicles sold in Australia were made in China.
And for political reasons, we're getting them cheaper than other countries. The death of the Australian car manufacturing industry has opened the door to the booming Chinese market. And Drive Director James Ward says that means value for buyers.
These cars are produced at such low costs and at high scale that the European and the US manufacturers can't actually compete like for like. So those governments are imposing tariffs on the importation of cars to protect their industry. We don't have an industry to protect, so the gates are open at the moment and Australian buyers are the ones who benefit.
This BYD Seal is a good example. It's selling in Australia for about $50,000. But if you were to buy it in Europe, you'd be spending more like $90,000 equivalent.
Well, frankly, that's a really, really good story for Australian buyers. We are taking advantage of the value that's being represented in these cars.